What up, guys? It's Little Guy Learns. And today I'm filming with a very, very special friend. I know you've heard of him because you heard of him before you heard of me. Why don't you introduce yourself, Devin?
I am Devin Graham, also known as Devin Supertramp, and I am Lee's friend. In real life, too.
In real life, we do text and say, how are you? How was your day? Devin and I have filmed like 4 videos together.
Give or take.
4, give or take, more to come. And we've just had like tons of adventures. I originally met Devin up at Sundance, which was like the coolest experience. I was coming out of a novelty shop with some friends, and I walk over and I'm like, Devin? And he's like, Lee? Hey guys, what up? I'm here at Sundance with Devin Supertramp. Devin Graham, what are you doing here, man?
I wanted to meet you, so I'm like fangirling right now.
Dude, we gotta collaborate. That's what we're gonna do.
When are we gonna collaborate?
So, one quick thing right before we get into filming, I gotta ask Devin a question, and this is what I ask everybody I film with. What makes you passionate about filming? What brings out the passion in, you know, getting in the grind, staying in the grind, and making all the videos?
I try and figure that out every day because it's always something different. I know for me, I love telling stories, I love creating content, I love showing the world to people of stuff they've never seen before. But it's always, for me, it's the reaction I get from other people.
Do what you love, follow your passions, because as you can tell, Devin has made a name for himself. He's inspired millions, he's inspired me, and today I get the opportunity to have a little taste of that with learning how to glide cam. So let's get started.
Let's get started. And then just for the record, Lee, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've never actually done anything with a glide cam.
No.
This will be your first time ever.
No, never. I wanted to make this as candid as can be. I've never touched, like, held a glide cam or let alone filmed with a glide cam.
And I thought it would be fun to show that process, because I want to show, I'm gonna hand Lee the glide cam. I'm gonna have him shoot something without me telling you anything about it.
Okay.
And then I'll teach you, and then we'll see how you improved.
Okay.
So the audience is gonna see firsthand if we were able to learn something together, or if we were able to actually get worse. So fingers crossed, things get better. The thing is though, is the glide cam takes a different muscle. One that most people don't have, and I didn't have it starting off, but when you're filming every day with a glide cam, it forces you to develop this muscle. Okay. So I wasn't sure how you were gonna handle it, but I'm just gonna have you, for right now, just pick this up. Now keep in mind, whenever you're filming with a glide cam, it's all one-handed, and then the other hand you're using to control it.
Okay.
Now a lot of people will pick up the glide cam, they're not sure if their hand should go here, in the back, or in the front. I've seen it several different ways, but I think the most common way I see is your hands in the front, just right before you're gonna actually touch the pole itself. Okay. So I'm gonna have you hold it one-handed. You can see my hand's already shaking because it is a heavy system. But I'm gonna have you pick it up with one hand. You can hold 2 hands, but you use your other hand to balance it.
Okay. Guys, this is a really expensive camera.
Don't drop it.
Okay.
And then, if you feel comfortable, you're gonna let go with one hand.
Let go
of this hand.
Okay. Oh yeah, easy. That's like not even hard.
You're breaking a sweat already.
Oh no, good.
How is it?
It's
easy?
Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's actually really heavy. Like, the fact is like holding this with one hand, like, it's heavy in the sense of like the balance and everything. This is insane.
So it takes a while to get used to this one. Because if I had never shot with the glide cam, picked it up, I'd have the same issues. I'd probably have more issues. So I have the little guy for you today.
Oh, the little guy.
The little guy. Little guy learns. So I'm gonna have you learn on this one, and I'm gonna train you on this one.
Okay. What are we filming?
I'm gonna have you film me walking around the office.
Okay.
Just to show people what it looks like without any training experience, because anyone can pick up a glide cam, but you just have to kind of know, and we're going to show you guys those steps so you guys can become experts as well with Lee.
Here we go.
Just make sure the mic is on, fully functioning. All right. So this is Lee without any training yet. So you're going to want to, just the only things I'm going to share with you is you're going to have to let go of this hand and hold with this hand, and you're going to steer with this hand. So go ahead and walk with me. We're going to walk around here. So when most people pick up a glide cam, this is what it looks like. And a big part of glide camming is balancing the glide cam. So I haven't even showed you how to balance it yet, Lee, but I just want the audience to kind of see if you don't balance the glide cam properly, you're cheating, Lee, only one hand. Okay. You're just using the other hand to kind of steer. Otherwise, if you're just holding with both hands, it's like you're doing it handheld. So as you can see, Lee probably needs a little bit of practice. We're just gonna do one more loop. Come through here, we'll walk through here. We're gonna walk through the hallway. The hallway is a good example to show people just because you have straight lines. So let's go ahead and walk right through here. How do you feel, Lee? Never been better?
Oh yeah, so good. This is like the easiest thing I've ever done.
Now do it one-handed.
Okay.
So super smooth work.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna turn around. Now, it is important to know, filming with a glide cam, you don't instantly, it's like a bike. It does take a little bit of practice, but once you got it, you got it. So we're gonna turn around this corner, and now that we have that footage, people can see what it looks like with no prior experience ever. Now I'm gonna kind of get you situated with it all. So come back down here to our workstation.
Okay.
And we'll go back to our one right here. And boom. So how was the experience so far? Next level?
It was really hard because like honestly, like I just didn't even understand what I was doing at all. You know, because you're cheating, but I'm like, how do you do this one-handed without it turning? Or how do you like actually stabilize it? Or how do you, like literally, like I'm literally ground up, never even touched this before. So it was just, yeah, it was really hard.
First things first. So you're saying Lee is learning firsthand, so we learned by our mistakes. Because you were just now doing everything wrong.
Oh, cool.
So I'm gonna teach you though, so Lee's gonna be a professional by the end of this, and he'll be out there shooting winning videos in no time. So first things first, Lee, is you're doing good. I mean, you did what a normal person would do picking it up, right? Your average Joe Schmo. So the first things you do with the glide cam is you wanna balance it.
Okay.
Most people out there, they're filming with this kind of setup as far as weights, but if you have a DSLR camera, you're gonna wanna make sure the weights down here are the right amount of weights. Because you have 2 weights here and 2 weights here, because you want this weight down here to be similar to what's up here. Now I have a much heavier setup, so you'll notice down here, I have, I think I have 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 7 weights here and 7 weights here, just because it counters what's happening up here. So the heavier the camera, the more weights you have down here. So I already have it balanced as far as weights go already to kind of match this setup. So let me go ahead and pick up your setup system. So whenever I kind of film with a glide cam, I'll set it down on the ground. And I know I have the right amount of weight roughly. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna lift this up just one-handed, and let's just see if the camera leans forward or backward. So go ahead and lift it up. Forward. So I need to balance it so when I lift it up, it doesn't fall any direction. Hold that for 1 second.
Okay.
Because right here, I have this balance really, I mean not perfect, but pretty solid, where I lift this, and it's actually leaning to the right a little bit. And I'm gonna show you how to kind of fix that problem in a second. But first things first, I always deal with balancing it forward and backwards. So, because it's leaning forward, you have this right here, this dial, and you have this dial. So this dial is gonna have it go forward or backward. And there's an F right here that shows if you spin this way, it's gonna go forward. This way is gonna go backwards. Same thing with this, same concept. Spin this way, it goes right. This way, it goes left. And there's that R right there, just so you know what way goes right. So, if you want it to go forward, all I need to do is spin this backwards. And it's slowly going back. Now, I could do it this way too with this knob, loosen it, and slide it back kind of manually forward or backwards. That is what I'll normally do first, is I'll get a general idea. So forward, backward, and let's just say it's around there. Then I'll always lock it here, and then I'll do the fine tuning here. So now I set it up on the ground, and then I'll just lift it up slowly. And it's still a little front heavy, so it doesn't need a whole lot of spin. I just did about 1 full spin. Go ahead and lift it up again. And that's pretty solid, yeah? Now sometimes, the left and right's already balanced fairly well, but sometimes if people is picking up a glide cam for the first time, I'm just gonna kind of off center it really bad right now. If I lift it up now, you see how it's right heavy? So I'm just gonna spin it to the left, and it's gonna move the whole camera itself to the left to kind of balance it properly. Set it back on the ground. I think I have it close, but we'll find out. I lift it up. Now it's a little left heavy. So I'm gonna go ahead and let go, and just like that, it's balanced. And now, kind of what kind of is the test of time is if I shake it, does it get like crazy wobbly? And it looks super smooth. So now, little guy learns. Now let's see if you learn that concept.
Oh, let's see how fast of a learner I am.
Now this does take time. Like I'll travel on an airplane, put the camera on, and I can be set up within 20 seconds of having it balanced. Because this is your first time doing it though, this might take a couple minutes. But I'm gonna go ahead, take the camera off, you already saw I already have it balanced left and right, so you're just gonna have to figure out how to balance it forward and backwards. So I'm gonna have you show us now what we just talked about.
Hi, what's up? My name's Devin. Just kidding, it's Lee.
You would never know. You just need a hat.
You know, and some pants. Okay.
Okay, so that actually is already pretty good. And then just so you know, when I lift it, I always have my hand right here just in case it leans forward or backwards really fast.
Okay.
Just to kind of catch it. Okay, so it actually looks back heavy. But yeah, my hand's always close to down here. I'm lifted up again.
Okay.
A little back heavy, but it's not like a drastic. I use this for drastic changes and this for small changes. So I think we can go ahead and lock that down.
Okay.
So you just pull it down, just like that.
Guys, here's the number one thing. The temptation is to not be patient with yourself. When you're learning something, the thing is half the time we give up because we don't know how to do it, or because like we're with a pro and we feel intimidated, that we're like, oh, this is like, I just look stupid. But don't look at it that way. Look at it as like being patient with yourself and taking on a new challenge. That's how I feel.
Well said. Do you feel intimidated right now?
Well, it's crazy because it's like you do this like without thinking about it. It's like clockwork in your brain, you know, and you want, even though I'm buff and I have muscles, it's a different thing when it comes to technique.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the big thing is technique. Because you can have Arnold Schwarzenegger or anyone out there, the Dwayne Johnson, and he's still gonna struggle with balancing the glide cam no matter how buff you are, because it is a lot of technique as well.
Yeah, which is called being humbled, which is another good thing.
For all of us. Okay, now I'm gonna teach you how to actually glide cam. That was just setting up the glide cam, but that's half the battle. Now, when you glide cam, your hand is in the front. I'm teaching the way I do it. Some experts will say you do it a different way. This is the way that I do it, and what's kind of, we do it as our team. Now your hand is basically just balancing it and telling it where to look, but you're never holding it.
Okay.
Because I saw initially when you were filming, you wanted to hold it, right?
Right, well yeah, it's tempting because in my mind I thought I was supposed to be holding it with both hands.
But if you do that, it's like you're holding it handheld.
Right, and it's not actually glide camming.
Not at all. And it's just not as smooth. So I'm teaching you how to have it as smooth as possible. So you want to basically just touch it lightly, and kind of the thing that they say at glide cam is touch it like it's hot. So
that's smart.
Think of it like that, like it's actually really hot. So it's just everything's light touching, and you're just telling the brain, the head, where to look. All you're doing is steering it. So I'm gonna have you stand right here for a second, Lee.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you, let me just get it set up right here. I'm gonna have you just walk around the office, walk backwards though so you can see what I'm doing with my hand.
Okay.
So I'm recording you now. Go ahead and just start walking. Now you see how my hand right now, it is on it, but I'm not holding it. Because if I'm holding it, it's gonna be like that.
Right.
And go ahead and walk backwards so you can see what it looks like when I'm actually holding it. And then now you can see, just walk backwards, don't trip.
Good.
Now you can see how smooth, but it's all about anticipating. Surprise.
Always about
It's all about anticipating your movement. So go ahead and walk with me. Talk with me.
Cool.
Your guiding hand isn't gonna be up here, it's gonna be down here.
Okay.
At least that's how I do it. Cool. So there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and just hit record just so you guys have that.
Okay, cool. There's our day over there.
Represent. So yeah, go ahead and lift that up. Get your little squats in for the day. Okay, now it's just gonna be very light. Go ahead and hold your hand on, keep your hand on for now. And go ahead and just walk, and go ahead and just kind of walk straight. And just light touching, light tapping. And then you walk with it, I'm gonna guide it. So let go with the left hand. So let's go ahead and walk back to RJ. You got it? And then because you can see, you can hold it like this. I hold it as close into my body as possible.
Okay.
Because it doesn't strain your arm as bad. Now the reason why this looks so smooth is because the balance is happening, this is taking away the balance, your arm and your leg. Because I also walk a little funny too when I glide cam. You'll just notice that my legs are crouched like this most of the time, and my arm is bent like this, almost like an angry individual.
Okay.
And then just hold this in the front like this.
Okay, in the front and then close to your body.
Close to your body, but not, I hold it, watch how close it is to my body now.
Okay.
So it almost looks like it should be hitting my body, but it doesn't.
Okay.
So as close as you can get with this to your body, the better. So you got that. Go ahead and hit record. And then left hand on, and then just go ahead and just lightly hold it for now. The other issue people have is the horizon. Now you'll even notice with Lee as he's filming, going back to these pinball machines right now, you'll notice that the horizon is going to be a little bit off. That just comes, as long as it's balanced correctly, that just comes with practice. Do you feel you're already better than when you were doing the other? By the way, you're picking it up beautifully. You'll have it in no time.
No, like I'm enjoying learning this, and guys, this is just like one video, but just imagine over time, repetition, practice, continuing to do it. I mean, eventually we're gonna have to do a follow-up video where we're actually like Jedi Master.
We'll have a whole obstacle course with you and see if you can.
Oh, that would be sick. And then I'm like running through it, and then like things could like pop out.
And spikes and
yeah, like
blades.
really sharp
Indiana Jones style.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing is people don't realize is you don't just pick up a glide cam, you're instantly shooting perfect shots. I've been doing this for a long time, 10 plus years. So I've had a couple years of experience with me. With that being said though, let's just say, oh, I want to get kind of these really smooth shots out there. There's definitely a lot of options out there. You got gimbals, glide cams, a lot of other stuff out there as well. If you want to get good at the glide cam, I think if you spend an hour a day for 2 weeks, you'd have it exactly where you want it to be. So just know that there is a learning curve, but like all things, like if you want to get good at it, just spend a little bit of time on it, or a lot of time on it if you want to become a master of it. But so the things that I saw you doing, you see how I'm holding it like this? A lot of times you're holding it like this.
Okay.
And then just keep in mind, the less you touch this, the better, because otherwise it's like you're doing it handheld and then you get rid of this whole thing that's going on right here.
Right.
But the less you touch it, but if you're gonna be kind of wobbling all over the place, it'd be better that you hold it. Otherwise you defeat the purpose of what you're even trying to do. And go ahead, I'm gonna hit record again and follow RJ as he walks backwards. And just try and keep that horizon as level as possible, because you don't want it to look like this, otherwise you can get people seasick. And I'm just watching you as and then move your hand down a little bit, your left hand. Unless it just doesn't feel comfortable, Lee, then you can move it up higher if that makes it easier.
Right.
Now go ahead and walk backwards. And RJ's gonna follow you with the camera. So that horizon went a little wonky, but it looks like you fixed it. So it's still looking a little bit all over the place, but that comes with practice.
Ooh, it's like hard on your wrist too.
Is it?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm so used to doing it that it doesn't bother my wrist. It's usually my arm.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a super buff dude. But it definitely, like, it is exhausting, especially when you do like super long takes. So I'm going to film, I'm actually going to film RJ right now, please, just so you can kind of see him. RJ's actually on a glide cam as well. He's on the older models though, he's more old school. I'm just going to have RJ walk backwards a little bit. And you see where my hand is down here? See how my legs are bent? Now, RJ, go ahead and follow me now, because we're gonna hit the pinball machines. Now, I'm kind of holding it, but just to steer it. I'm not holding it by any means. Now, I'm gonna actually walk through our office right now, just so you can see. I'm just trying to get smooth shots and have the camera spin. You're always anticipating where you're gonna be looking. Now, I'm gonna walk down this hallway. Actually, Lee, I'll have you walk down the hallway.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna follow you. Yeah, go ahead and just walk down there into the equipment room. Okay. And action. Just going forward. And we're stripped. Okay, good. Now go ahead and walk back towards me. So look where my hand is, both my hands.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just a lot of practice. Just do it as smooth as possible. I just want to make sure you get better than what you started, Lee. That's my main objective. So it still seems a little wobbly. So if it still feels that wobbly how I'm seeing it right now, just you can hold it a little bit more and be like almost more training wheels than you were before.
Okay.
And go ahead and walk with me down the hallway. But yeah, the less you touch it, the better, unless you absolutely need to touch it. Just go ahead and follow me back this way.
You know when it's like you get into bed at night and you can't fall asleep and you keep tossing and turning until you get comfortable? That's kind of what it feels like right now. I'm kind of like finding what it is until I get comfortable. Yeah. Like I feel comfortable, like, oh, this feels good, and then focusing on the technique.
That's a good analogy. I like
Yeah. I don't know, I just can't, I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. It's not so much about the strength, but it's about getting and having this feel comfortable in my hand.
So if you spend a couple more hours on it today, which we'll film the next 2 hours of Lee walking around with a glide cam. Well, we'll see, but no, it definitely does take time. It's not something you pick up overnight. But like you said, tossing and turning, and you'll find that perfect position to fall asleep. Same thing with the glide cam, is you'll just eventually get it, and then the stars will align. And everything will make sense in your life. And that'll be a glorious day.
I know, it'll be cool, and then I'm gonna be like, I shouldn't be an actor, and I should be out filming videos. What am I doing?
Just like that. Everything will change overnight. And it can. And I think that's one big thing for me, is at the time, no one else on YouTube had these smooth shots. Everything was just like people vlogging or tripods set up. And this kind of changed the game for me on social media because people hadn't seen these shots before. So for me, the glide cam was the tool that launched my career.
Devin, for the people that are watching, because obviously this is about me learning, and sometimes, you know, everybody learns at different paces and learns different things, and they're watching a video, so you're not actually holding a glide cam. What do you think the biggest takeaways you want from this are?
Yeah, so biggest takeaways I'd want you guys, if you guys are looking into this at all, is make sure to balance it right no matter what is like your #1 priority. And that's what I did, is I had you do it without balancing it at all, and you'll see that that looked significantly more wobblier. And then after you have it balanced correctly, it's just making a habit of constantly filming with it. People will say like, well, what should I do? As far as making a habit of it, you just have to go out there and do it, because you can be like hearing us talk about it, but until you actually like take it out and feel how it works, you're not gonna get better at it. So you can watch 100 hours of tutorial videos, but it's not gonna do anything. It'll do something, but not a whole lot until you actually go out and start filming with it. So for me, that's what's made the biggest difference. And the third last thing is just work on your horizon. That's how you can tell if someone knows what they're doing with the glide cam. That's how you can tell if someone picked it up for the first time, as in your case today. Because the horizon is all over the place. So it's just getting used to kind of countering the glide cam if it wants to go one way, is you're trying to have the horizon at all times level. Otherwise, people get seasick watching your videos.
So it's like turning back and forth.
Exactly. Because the thing is, we're filming on concrete right now, but if we're filming in sand, it'd be a completely different story.
Oh, okay.
Or if we're filming like you glide camming up the stairs, another lesson right there. And that's a lot about how you walk. But I can film someone like running full speed and glide cam and get like really smooth shots and like really crazy terrain. It's just a lot of practice. So there you have it.
Well, thanks, Devin. This means a lot, and like I said, Devin's a very good friend of mine. We've been friends for a few years now, and it's been an honor to be able to like learn these things. And I know I didn't become a pro instantly, you know, and balance, you know, and there's so much to learn. But I'm excited to dive in and see what I can learn, because I have found a happiness in learning, guys. When I learn something, I become happier, I become more fulfilled, and I learn a purpose in life, that there's more to life than your dead ends. And don't give up. If it gets hard, just watch this video. It was a struggle. Let us know in the comments what you thought, what you learned, what you want to see more of, and how you want to be more engaged. And Devin, do you have any final words?
Do or do not. There is no try. Yoda said that once, and it's not true, because there is trying. There is hope. But I want to say, from what I know of Lee tries his hardest, and just like glide camming, you're going to fail. But the more times you fail, the more times you get rejected as an actor, as Lee is an actor, or a stunt guy, or whatever you have ambitions of, that's okay, because all of the best people that are making a difference in the world, they're failing constantly. So it's just trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. I look at my whole career, and it was nothing but failures. So just know and expect things to go wrong, because they will. But as long as you are persevering, as long as you persevere. As long as you persevere. Say it again.
You're persevering.
As long as you're persevering, it's gonna be okay. Amen?
Amen. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please give us a like, give it a comment, share it with your friends that are passionate about learning. And I love you, and I will let you know about the next video soon. Take care.
Peace. Over and out, baby.